Happy Halloween. I walked into a spider's web on the way in this morning, so that's why I have this on my face. Couldn't seem to get it off me. Today, in the spirit of Halloween, I am going to read a few passages from some books that might be a little spooky scary, or rather some books that fall under magical themes, earthly themes, and still some frightening themes. I'm also going to do a light tarot reading, just simple one card for the month of November that we have coming up, and I'm going to burn some sage and light a candle. So let's get started. This candle is a Reiki infused candle for astral journeying. I don't know if that's something you've ever done before, or if it's something you're comfortable doing. No worries if you're not comfortable with it. This candle will not force you into astral projection by any means, so it is simply to fit us into the theme and provide you with sweet dreams this evening. I'm going to read the passage that the candle comes with. I will the energy contained within this candle to heal, harmonize, and balance my being. I trust the universe to provide me with perfect guidance in all my astral journeys. May light and love surround and protect me in all my endeavors. As I will it, so it is. Let's go ahead and light. Trying to smell it. The fragrances in this candle are frankincense, Frankenstein, Rosemary's Baby, Cypress Hill, citronella, and myrrh. Just going to place that in here. Have some little bit of leftover sage. Let's light her up. That's a flame, all right. While that is cleansing the space, I'm going to tune us to the grounding energies of the earth in hopes that everybody has a safe Halloween this evening, whatever you decide to do, and that you remain grounded as best as possible. Are you ready? let your body relax, and you let your mind relax with your body. Just know you have nothing to do, nothing to be right now but yourself, but your relaxed state. You are your breath. So allow yourself to relax within it. One more time. Breathe in and let your body relax with the exhale. Great. I'm going to give us a reading with the Lightseer's Tarot deck. This is one of my favorite tarot decks that I have. And let's see what it has to say for this upcoming month of November. I'm going to pull one card. What can we bring forth with love this month of November? What is one area that we can focus our attention, where we may receive divine guidance? Sometimes cards just fall out. Other times, maybe we need to seek them. I'm going to give it one more shuffle. Where is an area of our life that we can expand in? Three of Cups. This is a beautiful community, friendship, emotional vulnerability card. To me, this is saying that in the month of November, to spend time with those that are bringing you joy, maybe some girlfriends, maybe some boyfriends, maybe if this is in reference to a relationship question that you had, it could reference a throuple or a third. Maybe there are three musketeers hanging out and you all are having a very fun time enjoying each other's company and stargazing. Either way, I read this as just a very community-oriented card. Without other cards in context, it might be a bit difficult to say what exactly this is pointing to, but just on a surface, I see that this is kind of inviting other energies into your space to maybe collaborate with, maybe just spend time with. And the Two of Cups is right before this card, indicating some sort of romance relationship. So I always see Three of Cups as a relationship in a different way, whether it's inviting somebody in romantically or whether it just means getting together with a group of friends and spending time together that way and really just being together rather than doing something, just the act of being with each other and experiencing together. So I hope that was enlightening on some level, or just entertaining at the very least. So I have 3 books with me. The Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, The Hidden Life of Trees, and The Wretched of the Earth. From the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, I'm going to read a small section on the magical intentions of protection. This comes from Chapter 4. Magical intentions are simply magical needs. Love is one, money another, and protection a third. This chapter briefly discusses some of the most common magical intentions. Herbs appropriate to each intention are listed in the tables and appendices. From the overwhelming number of herbs used for this purpose, it is obvious that protection is and has been of the utmost concern for many people. Most of the protective herbs mentioned in this book are general in their effects. They guard their bearer against physical and psychic attacks, injury, accidents, poison, snakebite, lightning strikes, wicked spirits, the evil eye, and so on. In other words, they are protective in a general way. Naturally, they won't do you much good once something has happened. Protective herbs should be preventatives. This doesn't mean that if you wear a protective root or carry a sachet, you'll breeze through life unfettered with annoyances. But carrying some of these herbs will certainly help screen out potentially harmful situations. In today's world, we should guard ourselves with every available means. Protective herbs are one of these. They create a type of force field around your home, possessions, or self. When carried, they also increase the effectiveness of your body's natural defenses. An ounce of prevention, after all, is worth a pound of cure. I think this book is so beautiful. I love the illustrations throughout it of different herbs. Let's see. Lavender. Some folk names for lavender are elfleaf, nard, nardus, and spike. The Latin name is Lavandula officinale. It's a masculine gender. The planet is Mercury. The element is air. Powers include love, protection, sleep, chastity, longevity, purification, happiness, and peace. Its magical uses include lavender has long been used in love spells and sachets. Clothing nabbed with the fragrant flowers or lavender placed in drawers with clothes attracts love. A piece of paper on which you've rubbed lavender is excellent for writing love notes. The scent of lavender particularly attracts men, and lavender water or the essential oil was worn by prostitutes several centuries ago to both advertise their profession as well as to attract, through magic, customers. Lavender also protects against cruel treatment at the hands of a spouse if worn. Those flowers are also burned or smoldered to induce sleep and rest, and are scattered about the home to maintain its peacefulness. The plant is so powerful that, if when depressed one gazes upon the plant, all sorrow will depart and a joyous feeling will settle upon the observer. Well, if it was only that easy. Indeed, the odor of lavender is conducive to long life, and so should be smelled as often as possible if this is a concern. Lavender is also used in healing mixtures, carried to see ghosts, and worn to protect against the evil eye. It is added to purification baths. Despite lavender's love associations, in the Renaissance it was believed that lavender, together with rosemary, if worn, would preserve a woman's chastity. A wish divination. Place lavender under your pillow while thinking of your wish. Do this just prior to retiring for the evening. In the morning, if you have dreamt of anything relating to your wish, it will come true. However, if you did not have dreams, or if they were unconnected with your wish, it will not manifest. Fascinating. From The Hidden Life of Trees. I had a bug carcass in there. Very Halloween-y. I'm going to read from the chapter In the Realm of Darkness. Chapter 15, In the Realm of Darkness. For us humans, soil is more obscure than water, both literally and metaphorically. Whereas it is generally accepted that we know less about the ocean floor than we know about the surface of the moon, we know even less about life in the soil. Sure, there's a wealth of species and facts that have been discovered and that we can read about, but we only know a tiny fraction of what there is to know about the complex life that busies itself under our feet. Up to half the biomass of a forest is hidden in this lower story. Most life forms that bustle around here cannot be seen with the naked eye, and that is probably the reason we are not as interested in them as we are in, say, wolves, black woodpeckers, or fire salamanders. For trees, though, these creatures are probably way more important. A forest would have no problem doing without its larger inhabitants. Deer, wild boar, carnivores, and even most birds wouldn't leave any yawning gaps in the ecosystem. Even if they were all to disappear at once, the forest would simply go on growing without many adverse effects. Things are completely different when it comes to the tiny creatures under their feet. There are more life forms in a handful of forest soil than there are people on the planet. A mere teaspoonful contains miles of fungal filaments. All these work the soil, transform it, and make it so valuable for the trees. Before we take a closer look at some of these creatures, I'd like to take you back to when soil was first created. Without soil, there would be no forests, because trees must have somewhere to put down roots. Naked rock doesn't work, and loosely packed stones, even though they offer roots some support, cannot store sufficient quantities of water or food. Geological processes such as those active in the ice ages with their sub-zero temperatures cracked open rocks and glaciers, ground the fragments down into sand and dust until finally what was left was a loosely packed substrate. After the ice retreated, water washed this material into depressions and valleys, or storms carried it away and laid it down in layers many tens of feet thick. Life came along later in the form of bacteria, fungi, and plants, all of which decomposed after death to form humus. Over the course of thousands of years, trees moved into this soil, which only at this stage can be recognized as such, and their presence made it even more precious. Trees stabilized the soil with their roots and protected it against rains and storms. Erosion became a thing of the past, and instead, the layers of humus grew deeper, creating the early stages of bituminous coal. Bituminous? Forgive me. While we are on the subject of erosion, it is one of the forest's most dangerous natural enemies. Soil is lost whenever there are extreme weather events, usually following particularly heavy downpours. If the forest soil cannot absorb all the water right away, the excess runs over the soil surface, taking small particles of soil with it. You can see this for yourself on rainy days, whenever water is brownish in color. This means it is carrying off valuable soil. The forest can lose as much as 2,900 tons per square mile per year. The same area can replace only 290 tons annually through the weathering of stones underground, leading to a huge annual loss of soil. Sooner or later, only the stones remain. Today, you can find many such depleted areas in forests growing in exhausted soils that were cultivated centuries ago. In contrast, forests left undisturbed lose only 1 to 14 tons of soil per square mile per year. In intact forests, the soil under the trees becomes deeper and richer over time so that growing conditions for trees constantly improve. That is a little snippet of chapter 15 in the Realm of Darkness from The Hidden Life of Trees. To close us off, I am going to read the synopsis of the book, The Wretched of the Earth. Angela Davis said about this book that the century's most compelling theorist of racism and colonialism. Frantz Fanon was one of the 20th century's most important theorists of revolution, colonialism, and racial difference, and this, his masterwork, is a classic alongside Orientalism and the autobiography of Malcolm X. The Wretched of the Earth is a brilliant analysis of the psychology of the colonized and their path to liberation. Bearing singular insight into the rage of colonized peoples and the role of violence in historical change, the book also incisively attacks post-independence disenfranchisement of the masses by the elite on one hand, and intertribal and interfaith animosities on the other. A veritable handbook of social reorganization for leaders of emerging nations, The Wretched of the Earth has had a major impact on civil rights, anti-colonialism, and Black consciousness movements throughout the world. This new translation updates its language for a new generation of readers, and its lessons are more vital now than ever. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your evening, a safe Halloween, and join me again next week for another shamanic Reiki journey. Be well, best wishes, and free Palestine. Thank you.